Right then, welcome back. United have got Wolves tomorrow. Hope you all had a happy new year. Did you go out? Did you do anything? I didn't do anything. I'm old now. It's to be expected, isn't it? It's a young man's game, not going out on New Year's Eve, getting up to no good. So when was the last time I even went out properly on New Year's Eve? It's been a minute, It's been an absolute minute since I did that. Anyway, stop waffling. What's going on with Wolves? They're currently 8th in the league. They're having a bit of a decent season so far. In their last 5 league games, though, they've had just 1 win, 2 draws, and 2 losses. We beat them 1-0 in a reverse fixture early in the season. It was a Greenwood winner, but it was probably against the run of play and maybe something we didn't actually deserve. How do they play? So, Lager's been using the 3-4-3, which changes into a 5-4-1 at times when Wolves are defending. He does tend to go for a base 3-5-2 against stronger opposition, so I don't know if he's going to do that against United or not, or whether or not that would even suit us if he did that. The wingers cut the passing lanes, meaning teams have to go through the middle, and they find little success with that. They narrow in and they make it very difficult for teams to play through them. Under Nuno, they were notorious for being able to use big switches of play rather than a defensive back 5, where the wing-backs were more regimented and disciplined. Instead, they want to use the wide players that would look for delivering crosses for Jimenez, as well as taking shots from long for the attackers and midfielders, where Bruno Lage is a lot more forward-thinking, less pragmatic, a little bit more adventurous, should hopefully be less of a boring game. It used to be quite dull affairs, didn't it, the Wolves and United games. Under Lage, he seems to set their team up to advance the ball through Ruben Neves, because he's a top player, a real first-rate passer. Can transition it quickly from defence to attack alongside Moutinho, and they've been central to the progressive moves that Wolves have been able to do, really, and they can be pretty deadly on the counter when they're able to get it to Adama Traore. Counter-attacks being a major concern that United have since Rangnick took charge, because we're just susceptible to them. And Wolves are good at them, or Adama Traore is good at them, I think we should say. They haven't played since December the 19th because their last 2 games have been postponed. It looks like they're going to have Roman Saiz available before he jets off on AFCON duty. Having seen how poor United were at defending the transition, Traore absolutely starts here and he causes us serious problems. Predicted 11 for Wolves. I'm going with Sarr, Saiz, Cody, Kilman, Semedo, Neves, Dendoncker, Moutinho, Marcel, Jimenez, and Traore. I think it'll be the 3-5-2. Alternatively, they could go with a 3-4-3 and go with Trincao, Jimenez, and Traore up front. But I think it'll probably be the 2, and that could leave them really packing out that midfield and leaving 2 genuine threats up front for us. And a star man, probably Raul Jimenez. Give him some shit when he first came to the Prem. Didn't think his finishing was really all that, but he is a bit of a do-it-all striker. He's not been prolific since his return from his fractured skull. He's only got 3 goals and 2 assists in 17 league games this season, but he is a danger and he's definitely the focal point of what they do. He does have very few weaknesses. I don't think he has that X factor to take it on to the next level, but he has few weaknesses. He's quick enough to hurt you, physical enough to hold it up, good with ball at both feet. He's also great in the air, so you can't switch off against him. You certainly can't switch off against Adama Traore. When you look at what Wolves are about, average possessions are at 48.1%, so they're relatively middle of the league when it comes to possession. Their pass completion is 80.2%, which means they're one of the better ones, 8th best in the league. They've only scored 13 goals in the league this season, and only Norwich have scored less. So if you can shut them out, you can shut them out. If you can score a couple of goals, you're probably picking the win up against them because they're not going to score a load to come back against you. They have a very resolute defence. They're both the second best defensive record in the league. They've only conceded 14 goals this season, and only Manchester City have conceded less. And they are the only team yet to concede from a set piece or a counter-attack. Now, that seems like it's walking right into our hands, doesn't it? United being the team that hasn't scored from a set piece this season. They also have the least amount of pressure in the final third. They literally pressed the least in the league. Only 432 pressures in the attacking third this season. No teams had more successful dribbles and dribbled past more players than Wolves this season. A lot of that is down to Adama Traore. And they also attack centrally, as only Tottenham and Leicester have crossed the ball less than Wolves. So you're looking for verticality through the centre of the pitch through them. They're looking to get it into the likes of Traore and Jimenez, who are looking to try and develop the play on their own, 1-2s, and running at people. That's literally how they break this thing down. How'd you beat them? Okay, well, the team that I'm going to be going with then for United, I think De Gea in net. I'm bringing back Dalot and Tellez. Tellez is less of a bringing him back because of performance issues. Thought Shaw was fine, just don't expect him to play. Dalot definitely is a performance-related one with Wan-Bissaka. Varane and Maguire, I don't think he's ready to drop Maguire yet, even though he should be. I think it'll be McTominay and Fred. Let's just roll with it because it's going to be. And I think it'll be Bruno and Donny. And if it's not Donny, honestly, he needs to get on right move tonight, doesn't he? And I think it'll be Rashford and Ronnie up front. And I think that's why we saw what we saw against Burnley last week. So how do you beat them? You got to isolate the wide centre halves. And you can do this through your wide midfielders, your wingers. You can do this through your wide forwards. But you've got to drag them away. They're going to try and attack through their fullbacks, which means you've got to try and 2v1 those wide centre halves. Pull them out a little bit too far where it's just not quite comfortable from the central centre half and look to exploit the space laterally either side of them. Players like that like to work on the inside channel. That's our strength. Utilise the legs that we have in the team going forward. This would be a great game for Marcus Rashford to really exploit. Pop off onto that left-hand side and get in behind if he's able to do that. Press the ball high. Wolves are a ball-playing side and they'll stick to their principles, so they're not just going to twat it long just because you put them under a little bit of pressure. The best opportunity to hurt them is when they've just given the ball away, so win the ball back high up the pitch because they're going to try and press it out or play it out from you. Press them high, turn it over in and around the D, transition fast and strike and try and have a shot off. Don't let Neves and Moutinho get on the ball. Have people that are going to pressure them and stop them from playing, because if you allow them to play, they will dictate the game and they are simply better than anything that United has got in midfield, so you can't allow them to do that. And fundamentally, do not let Adama Traore run at you. Just stop him. Foul him. Stop the supply to him. Do not let him start turning towards our goal and running. You've got to take fouls. You've got to stand him up. You've got to just do whatever you can, because once he starts running, you're in for a serious problem, particularly on the transition. He's been a force every single time we've played them. These games suit him because Wolves can sit and break out because we'll have an extremely high line. Traore versus Maguire, as much as I don't want to see it happen, we're going to see it happen, and it might not be pretty. That's what I'm reckoning. Let me know your predictions. Let me know your scorers. Let me know your thoughts. And I'll see you lot in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.